just use.
Stop, stop, stop. I'm tired, please stop. Every word you say just hits like a lie on repeat. I gave you nights, I gave you hope, but you kept poking holes in a heart that won't float. I used to yell, I used to cry, now I just stare when you say this time. You're sorry, don't move me anymore. It just sounds like noise by the door. I packed my tears in yesterday. I ran out of reasons for you to stay. This is the end, I'm over you now. No more lies, no more excuses allowed. This ship is sinking, I'm letting it drown. I got no fight left in me now. Just leave, yeah, just go. I can't forgive you anymore. I'm done holding us afloat. I'm tired, baby, just go. I fought for us with broken hands, defended you when I should've ran. You said wait, you said soon, but I've been alone in the same damn room. I don't hate you, that's the truth. I just don't have nothing left to prove. Love shouldn't feel like war, and I'm done dying for one more. I don't scream, I don't beg, I just don't have it left. This is the end, I'm over you now. No more lies, no more excuses allowed. This ship is sinking, I'm letting it drown. I got no fight left in me now. Just leave, yeah, just go. Go back to where you came from. I can't do this anymore. I'm tired, baby, just go. I stayed too long, I tried too hard. I bent myself until I broke apart. I won't forgive you, not this time. I'm choosing peace over losing my mind. This is the end, I'm over you now. I ain't angry, I'm just worn down. No more lies, no more. Somehow I got no fight left in me now. So go, don't look back. I gave you all I had. This ain't love, this is survival now. And I choose me, I choose out. Stop, stop, stop. I'm tired. This is the end.
Now we gotta go help people customize and save hundreds with Liberty Music.
What's up? What's up? How's everybody doing on this evening? This is your girl, Mrs. Kiwi, and I am in the building with my co-host.
Miss Mink is in the house.
And we are happy to be back here on this Friday evening. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with Why Not Said. And we definitely appreciate you. And Miss Mink is going to let us know what Why Not Said stands for.
Well, Why Not Said stands for a lot, baby. But our mission statement says that we want to grab hold to our youth. We want to bridge that gap of communication between our youth and our season. It's time to capture Time to bring them back. Bring them back home. Youth, we want you to know that your voice is worthy to be heard. However, there are seasoned individuals out there too that want to spread and drop some jewels and knowledge on you. So everybody, sit back, open up your ears. We definitely want you to call in and get in on this topic. And Miss Kiwi is going to give you the number to call in. But come on, everybody, let's participate. Let's grab our youth. Let's shake them a little bit.
Yes, call in 515-599-1687. That's 515-599-1687. We're going to jump right in because we have a great topic tonight, and we want you all to join in, tune in, call in 515-599-1687. Gloves come off.
Gloves come off.
When the gloves come off, the truth comes out. This episode explores what happened when people stop pretending, stop filtering their words, and reveal what's really in their hearts. Is taking the gloves off always wrong? Or is there a healthier way to have honest, difficult conversation?
And you know what? I'm going to say that there can be a healthy way to have honest, difficult, and truthful conversations. However, sometimes we as individuals choose not to go that route because we find it's easier to lie. We find it's easier to ignore, not even have the conversation. So there is a lot of easy ways that a lot of people try to use as scapegoats.
It says, gloves come off when the mask falls and the truth speaks. What happens when the gloves come off? In relationships, faith, leadership, and everyday life. Let's talk about it.
Hey, well, first, let's break down what does it mean when it says gloves come off. Because there is a lot of different meanings because you just stated and alluded to the different ways when, you know, how things can affect certain things like relationships, faith, leadership, and just everyday life. Mm-hmm. So first, what does it mean when you say gloves come off? What is that?
It's bold honesty or unnecessary aggression. The difference between authenticity and a disrespect. So we can go on and on, but let's just kind of talk about it. When they say bold honesty and unnecessary aggression.
So that means that you can have a conversation in an honest manner and not be like yelling or screaming. You don't have to have aggression when it is that you having that conversation. Because a lot of times aggression comes in when it is that you lying. Mm-hmm. When you lying about a certain thing, then you tend to get very aggressive mm-hmm. because you got to try and protect what it is that you lying about.
Exactly.
Versus if you being honest, then that means that you can kind of mellow out that conversation and you all can have like a heart to heart and not have to, you know, be yelling and screaming at each other, because you always know that when you yelling and screaming, nothing gets resolved. Nothing.
So when they say bold honesty, you know, a lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people can't handle the truth. You know, when you start talking the truth, that's when all gloves come off.
That's right. Absolutely. And that's because the truth. But the truth don't carry no weight. I mean, the truth don't, what is it?
Need no
support. Because the truth is what it is. And like we have said before, the truth will set you free. So when you feel confident in what it is that you're saying, when you're telling the truth, that's how it becomes bold. Mm-hmm. Because you are actually telling the truth. When it's weakened or when you lying, then that means that you can't speak boldly on that because it ain't got no support to it, because it ain't the truth.
And a lot of times when you're lying too, people don't like to look at you in your eyes. They'll be looking all to the side, down, around, and you know, they don't give you eye contact because they know that they're lying. So when pressure reveals the real you, Let's talk about that. Pressure. Because a lot of people fold under pressure.
Yes, they
A
do.
lot of people fold under pressure. And a lot of people walk around and they say, oh, I ain't no snitch. I ain't no snitch. But put some pressure behind them, and a lot of people going to start singing like a hummingbird.
Yep.
So,
and
you
if
know,
they don't, it's gonna bother them. They conscious. They conscious gonna get to them. Now they may be able to walk around with it for a long period of time, but eventually that conscience is gonna wear them down. It's
Yeah.
gonna make you start feeling very insecure. You're gonna constantly be wanting to watch over your back. You're gonna be constantly questioning what somebody may be saying to you. You're gonna be constantly looking at people like, oh, why are you looking at me like that? You
Yeah.
know, you become very paranoid when it is that, you know, pressure is on you until it is. And you know what? Like they always say, karma ain't no joke. And what's hid in the dark is always going to come to the light. So that's what's meant by that pressure and, you know, revealing the real you.
And you know what? I wish we had Fast Lane's song. You remember that song that he made long time ago, Pressure Bust Pipes?
Yeah.
Man, I wish we had that song
Yes,
so we
yes,
can play
yes.
that. But we're going to just keep talking about, you know, gloves off, because this is a very interesting topic. You know, it not only does it speak to me, but it also kind of teaches me some things about, you know, how to cope and to be able to deliver my message better as opposed to blowing up, you know, because you, like you said, a lot of times when you're in conversation with somebody and you start to get aggressive and you start to talking loud, because 9 times out of 10, you know, you done lied somewhere along the, you know, in
Or
that
either you got something
conversation.
that you hiding.
Yeah,
you
or
know,
if you got something that you're hiding.
I feel like this. We all are adults. And you know what? What can another adult do to you?
What
actually?
can man do to you,
Right. What
period?
can man do to you, period?
know?
Nothing. Nothing. If you are protected and you are a believer and you protected by the shield and the armor of God, you don't have to lie. You don't have to feel pressure. You can speak boldly and tell the truth about it. Most definitely. Conflict. Oh my God. Conflict can really expose who you really are, your character. Because if you are a person that's constantly lying, that's your character.
Yep.
Oh, believe me, you very combative.
Very,
That's when they're
very,
aggressive.
Very defending.
Yes, you got to be.
Yeah,
You
gonna
gotta
always
be.
be on the offense about everything that goes on in your life, or anything. Anytime somebody is saying something to you, you already got your guard up because you already know you known to be a liar. So if you a liar, that means that you don't even believe it for real. You don't believe the
What
lies
it
you
is you
telling,
saying. That's
but
right.
you're gonna keep saying it because when you tell one lie, you gotta tell another one, and then another one. But by the time you get to that third lie, you done forgot what you said in that first one, and now you already looking crazy. Just tell the truth. The truth may hurt, but at the same token, you ain't gotta worry about holding that on your shoulders like, man, I told that lie. Now weeks come or months come, now this conversation then came back, you done forgot what you actually said, so you
That's
tell
right,
me
so you
something
gotta think of something else.
yeah, you done, and now they looking at you like, now you just done flat out flat out lying when you could have just told the
Yes,
truth.
that's right. And you know what? That is so true. And just to kind of give an example, I was talking to a client today, and he was explaining to me about his situation, what was going on, why was he in this situation. And as I was asking him more questions, the more questions I was asking him, the difference the story came. Every time it is a question that I asked, and it was basically the same question related to the same incidents, but it was a different different answer and a different lie, but it was the same question. So I said, okay, so let's just halt right now, because you still not answering the question that I need you to answer, and you done told me 3 different scenarios, 3 different stories, and gave me 3 different answers, and ain't none of them supporting what it is that I just asked you. So that is, you know what, that's real true. So do difficult situations reveal who we are and who we're becoming? Do you think?
I do. Some of them do. Difficult situations do reveal who you really are. Because, a lot of people walk around, I'm 100, I'm 100, I'm 100. But when they get into a difficult situation, that you really see how hunted they are.
That's
because
right.
they don't have your back, or they're not supportive in what's going on, or they don't want to go through the difficult times with you. They there for the luxury and the good times, but when the difficult time comes, you really see who people are. So difficulty really do show the real person in you. But if you really that hunted, like you say you that hunted,
right.
in a difficult time, you gonna ride with me through that difficult, and we're gonna come together
That's
and
right.
figure it out and find out what we need to do, or whatever. And that's just not even in relationships. That's you as a person by yourself.
That's in everyday life.
That's in everyday life.
Everyday
You
life.
gotta figure it out. When when stuff become difficult in your life, it's just because of a decision that you made, maybe yesterday or the day before, or last week, last year. It just now it's surfacing, and you don't really know what to do with it, because at that moment you was just like, yeah, whatever.
I'm down for whatever.
I'm down.
Yeah,
but
I'm
now,
down. Yeah.
it's not working in your favor, so it have become difficult, and now you're like, man, what I'm gonna do?
I'm ready to flee.
But we gotta just
Nowhere to be
start.
found.
Stop allowing life to move us so fast. We got to be able to stand still sometimes and be able to really think about what we need to say, or what we need to do, or how should I go about this next situation. Because a lot of times when we making decisions in the moment, that decision is affecting you in the long run, because it may not been the best decision.
Right.
And sometimes we just got to stand still and think, and
That's
allow
right.
God to just for real alter our mind and our thoughts, because our mind and our thoughts be all over the place.
That's right. And when you're talking about, like you just stated, in reference to standing still and allowing God to fight your battle. So our difficult situations, if we know who to take it to, when to take it to him, and allow him to work it, then those difficult situations are not ours. And the battle is already won. All we have to do is take it where it's supposed to go. And when I had asked a question about the difficult situations revealing who we're becoming, so basically, when it is that we're in a difficult situation and we're, on the path, or we think we're on the path of, righteousness, or we're going, trying to get towards God, but then when things start arising, then we, like a lot of people will say, I'm going to lay that religion down. Because you dealing with it in that man and that human form instead of from the spiritual realm. So who you are trying to become when it is that you are in a difficult situation reveals who you actually are. And the battle it is that you are actually fighting. So we do have to be very, very mindful of what we, how we're portraying ourselves especially when difficult situations. Because like you just stated a few moments ago, Miss Kiwi, oh yeah, I'm down, I'm 100% for you and all. And then when that difficult situation, you looking around like, where you at?
Ain't nowhere to be found.
Where you at? Where you at?
Ain't nowhere to be found.
And that's the same thing, same way how we do God sometimes, is that when it's all good, then we, tend to shy away and run away from God. But when things are going bad and we in those difficult situations, then we want to cry out and we want to do this and we want to get on our knees and all of this stuff. But that's not the only time.
But a lot of times, to be honest with you, people don't even take it that far. People just, want God to be that instant, that microwave. They want that quick fix. They want God to be there in they rough times, but then they don't even want to take time to spend time with God in his presence.
And that's right.
Just pick up the Bible, just pray, just sit there and just ask God to come into your presence. But when you in trouble, or when that money short and that bill is due, God is the first person everybody call. I can say I'm guilty of that. I've been there and I've done that, but I just thank God on today that he brought me out of that darkness and he done brought me into the marvelous light. And I don't just call on him in my difficult times. I be in his presence when it's good for me, because I'm telling you, it ain't nowhere better to be but in God's presence.
That's right. So keep it real without
Oh
losing
man, we just talked
control.
about that. That's that honey.
That's right. That honey. That honey.
That's that honey.
So, keeping it real during those times, like we were just speaking of, we tend to pressure like we spoke about earlier, when that pressure is on, you tend to lose control. That means you snapping out on people, you miserable, you frustrated all the time, you ain't never happy, your smile and turn into a frown, you got all these frown lines on your face because of the fact that you are losing control instead of keeping it real. I mean, we all have things that we go through on a daily basis. But how real can you keep it when it is that you are in those situations? How real can you keep it?
Hey, speaking truth in love versus speaking from anger, just like you just said. A lot of people, when they in a difficult time, they don't express love. They be angry. They be mad. They be frustrated. And we all get frustrated. But like I said, sometimes we got to just stand still. Sometimes we got to sit back and think things through. Because every action causes a reaction.
Yes, it does.
And a lot of times, you might click off on that wrong somebody and they might be having a bad day too.
That's right.
So you just got to start just, gathering yourself, just thinking about how you finna do it or what you finna say. Because a lot of times we think just about ourselves, period. And not nobody else. But for every action, there is a reaction. And in that moment, how you act, the reaction you get you might not have been looking for that.
That's right.
So,
Absolutely.
we just got to start just being mindful.
And I always use like little funny stories of things that come to me, and especially working in a criminal defense firm, you hear a lot. I had this young lady yesterday. She was so cute, and we actually gonna have her on the show because I want her to share her cultural experience, because she's Latino, but she's also black. And she said majority of her grandmother's heritage is African American, but they're from Mexico. So she was sharing the story. She had a real bad day, and she was getting off from work, and she was at the gas station. Well, she was at the gas station pumping gas, and this guy came up behind her, and he wanted to get all up in her face and cuss her out and all this stuff, only because he wanted to jump her in line. And so he all of a sudden called her a bitch. And she turned around and she asked him, "What'd you say?" And he proceeded to tell her that she was a bitch again and call her all these names and all this stuff. But he was on the phone with another female while he was talking bad about her. She turned around and mopped his behind. So she hired us, and we were able to see the video footage of the camera that was captured at the gas station. And to see this little young lady whoop this grown man's behind because he was actually picking at her, I just had to laugh because it was just really funny. So, that means a lot when it is that, we say things to people and we don't realize, we don't think about what kind of day it is that they may have. We don't think about what they're going through at that time, where their mindset is, but you want to be that bear and keep poking. Keep poking. Well, he got a well whooped behind while he was poking that poor little young lady. But how do you feel that, Miss Kiwi, you can be honest without being hurtful?
That's a good question. Yes, I can be honest, but will it not hurt? Sometimes honesty hurts. So, sometimes honesty hurts.
Yeah,
it
does.
And it's not
It
even,
can sting.
It can. And the thing of it is that may not be your intentions on trying to hurt nobody. But honesty hurts. Truth don't need no support. And a lot of times we know that we're not living in truth. So when the truth comes forth in our face, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
You know?
But I know also you can be truthful and you can be honest and it not hurt if it is that you know how to say it too. That's another way, the truth does hurt some people.
You can
but
say it
sometimes
in a nice
the way that you say it too,
that
it
bring
can
hurt,
soften the
but
blow.
I'm gonna tell you though, a blow is a blow because it don't matter how soft you say it.
That's what some people.
If it's gonna hurt, it's gonna hurt because some people can't stand the truth.
Right.
That's all right. I'm saying. Because I honestly believe that you can be truthful and without being hurtful. Mm-hmm. But like I said, sometimes people just it's gonna hurt regardless, only because like you're a very soft-spoken person, and when you talk to people, you know what I'm saying, you be truthful with them. That don't mean that ain't gonna hurt me.
Right.
And it's not that you trying to hurt me.
Right.
It's just that sometimes you feeling like, man, somebody recognized it. I'm glad somebody done called it out. Or, man, that's the truth, and man, it's that is a very good question, but for me, like, this is just my opinion. I feel like you can be honest, but it still might hurt, and it's not even a hurtful hurt like as if you were being nasty hurt.
Right.
It's just that hurt like, man, they called it out, and that's the truth.
Yeah.
And I need to get it together.
Or
you know what I'm saying?
Oh man, why they call it out? You ain't have to say that and all of that.
Yeah. So,
but yes, most definitely.
Yeah.
So, what is it in relationships when the gloves come off? Like from a standpoint of marriage and dating. So I know that you haven't been married, but dating. But from a dating standpoint,
well, I'm gonna say this: when I think about the gloves off in dating, that's like when you're getting to know somebody. So when I'm trying to get to know somebody, I'm coming me. I'm not sending a representative because for me, and this is just my opinion, that's a waste of my time. Because if I'm trying to get to know you, I want you to get to know me.
Right.
Like, I want you to see everything about me so that you can be able to make that choice of whether or not you want to deal with me or you don't. But I feel a lot of people send their representatives because they want to win that person over. But then once they feel they got them, now you're going to see the real me. And that's like taking my choice away to me. That's just my opinion.
But you know what? That's truth. And that's how it is that also it fits in marriages. Because if it is that, say, for instance, you get this guy that you marrying or this female that you marrying, and they display all of, a lot of different attributes that once it is that you all have, kind of settled in, gotten to know each other, you've been married for a little bit, then, hey, that's when the gloves come off because they start revealing who they really are, the truth about who they really are, what it is that they really do, how it is that they really act. And at that point, the difference between marriage and dating, it's hard to just separate or break up.
Because you got more established, more set,
and you got more involved. Right, because there may be
true,
children and, finances and there is a whole lot. So, it's hard that's the hardest part in reference to from a marriage standpoint. But at some point, if it continues to be, and neither party is willing to change or willing to work at it or really to, change themselves, turn around, whatever it is that they're doing, then, hey, you got to take the gloves off and it's time for you to, make a decision which way it is that you're going to go.
And that's why when it says, when the mask falls and the truth speaks. A lot of people wear that phony face because, they don't want the person to see the real them from the get-go. Because they already know, like, that person probably ain't finna deal with that.
Right.
I ain't gonna get no further than where I am right now with that person. So a lot of people don't want their true self to be revealed right off the top, which I am the opposite. Like, here I go.
Right. Take
This
me
is
for
me.
who I am.
You know, either you deal with it or you
you
don't deal with it.
Mhm.
But I'd rather give you that choice as opposed to now we in something and we both want to knock each other heads off because, you know, you misled me, or, you know, I misled you, or you made me think that you loved me so much, and here you are, you've been messing with women the whole time, or you've been messing with, you know, men the whole time. So you really not giving me the true pretense of you. You're giving me that false.
Yes.
That falseness.
So what happens when gloves come off in family conflict?
Oh, my. Well, I'm going to say this, and I'm just going to leave it at this. Family sometimes can be the worst ones.
Yes, Lord
Family can
Jesus.
be the worst
Yes,
ones, you
yes,
know.
Yes,
And I just feel like this, you know, in family, you should be able to come to that person, and if you got an alt with that person or if something going on, I feel you should be able to come to that person. Now, you might not like what I'm saying.
Right.
But the thing of it is we can agree to disagree.
Yep, and that's not
and
all
we
the
can
case.
just discuss of what you did to me, the reason why I feel like I feel. Now, I can't make you apologize, nor can I make you understand or feel how I feel, because you might not have experienced it. I experienced it.
Right.
But family just, you know, family does just like with people on the street. They envy, they jealous. They don't want to see the next person, you know, get ahead. They always in competition, you know, and it's just sad, but, you know.
And do you feel that that's more so in our community, speaking of the African American community, versus some other communities?
I feel like that's in every race, in every I feel like the same things go on in every race.
It does.
But the thing of it is that our race is just targeted. They always want to put us on blast. Now, is it prevalent as much as it is? I don't know, because I'm not in other races, but I just feel like the same things kind of go on in other races. It's just that they would rather make us look bad. Melanated people, they rather make us look bad as opposed to just coming out saying that these are problems that families are having. Let's address this, and you know.
And like you said, it is in other races, most definitely, because, you know, from a Caucasian standpoint, you know, and just from watching, you know, people and observing people, they just as cutthroat as they try to make it.
Are.
And especially those that have money. Those that have money become very, very cutthroat, because, you know, money is the root of all evil. So at that point, yeah, they taking gloves off so that they can fight each other for who gonna get this cut, who gonna get that cut. So yeah, it is. You know, you made a good point. It is in all different cultures of people. It's not just
friendships and betrayal. You know, that you know, when you, I'm gonna be honest with you, in these times I'm not quick to call people my friend. I'm not quick to say sis and bruh. My circle is so small. It's still the same. My circle ain't got no bigger. And to be honest with you, if it do, that'll be a blessing. But if it don't, trust and believe, I ain't mad about it. Because, you know, we were on a panel and they were kind of mentioning about friends sleeping with, you know, friends guys, or, you know, because you ain't with that man no more, you know, I might sleep with him, you know, and, you know, that's a part of betrayal to me. You know, if you're my friend, then I don't care if me and that person is not together, ain't been together 15, 20 years. I feel like you knew I was with him. You knew the time we spent. You knew everything he did to me and all of that, because you was my friend. You feel what I'm saying? But a lot of times, your friends want your life.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
But that's where that betrayal come in. So, you know, it's a lot when you talking about gloves off.
Yes.
Gloves off goes a wide range.
Yes. So let me ask you this, and this is probably gonna hit a lot of people. Should Christians always stay silent to keep the peace?
No, And I feel like that's why God has his chosen ones, and that's why God say he need his soldiers out on the battlefield, the ones that's going to say my nay is nay and my yes is yes. Those that's going to let you know, but like we just spoke on earlier, I got to be honest with you. I'm not trying to be hurtful, but I got to be honest with
That's
you.
right.
Because I can't sit here and watch you doing this or hear you telling that lie and I don't correct you because I'm just as bad as you.
Right. Well, how do you know that? I mean, in their mind, they may feel that. How do you feel that you are correct and I'm not?
Well, I'm going to say this. I am the type of person in this time of my life to where I'm not quick to go and say something to a person. I pray about things and I ask God to lead me, because when God leads you, he already done prepared that person for what it is that you finna bring to them.
That's right.
And that's just how I feel.
And you
I'm not going to jump out there, and just be trying to chastise or tell somebody what they...
But wait a minute, Susie, because I heard about you was that Costco or Sam's?
Well, okay, let me say this.
Yes.
But that goes back to what I said. So let me tell you this quick little story. So me and my mom and my papa, we was at Costco's, and there was some young guys. It was 4 of them. Mm-hmm. They were in the aisle straight shooting dice. I'm talking about they had wads of money out on the floor, money spreading on the floor, and they were straight getting down. You heard me? Oh, calling it out. 7 I shoot. Just straight shooting dice. Uh-huh. And I didn't pay attention, but one of the guys that worked there, he called up with me and he was like, I can't believe these little boys up in the store straight shooting dice. I said, where at? And I was like, Lord Jesus, please, Lord, help our young folks. And at that moment, I went back and I said, now, wait a minute. I say, y'all straight up shooting dice in Sam's? They was like, yes, ma'am. I was like, get up. I said, get up. I said, get that money up off the floor. I said, because guess what? I could be the police. I said, or better yet, the police could have came up. And I said, all y'all going to jail. I said, and then not only that, they already have a stereotype on our young men. I said, so why are you all doing this in the store to give them even more room to talk about our young men? They already think we steal, we don't have manners and all of that. I said, don't do that. I said, y'all some fine little young men. All y'all fine. I said, I know y'all want better in life than that. Yes, ma'am, but we really was in the store trying to sell bottled waters. I said, now listen to what you just said. I say, how you inside Sam's trying to sell bottled water and they sell cases of water? I said, come on, y'all. Y'all got to start using y'all head. I said, y'all know that ain't right. I said, now what y'all can do, since y'all don't have nothing to do with y'all money, I said, y'all can give Miss Kiwi some of that money and I'll show y'all what to do with it. And I laughed about it. He was like, here, you can have some money, man. I was like, no, I don't want your money. I said, but I was just playing with you, but I was making a point. Like, y'all stop that. I said, and don't get up and leave from here and go somewhere else and do the same thing. I said, because the next person might not be as, nice.
But that's a prime example of, what it is that I stated. I asked the question about Christians, should they always keep silent, to keep the peace? Whereas you spoke up, and the young man that even worked there didn't speak up. Exactly. He didn't even say nothing.
He said that, yeah, see, I don't say nothing to these little kids because, you can't say nothing. And don't get me wrong. I feel that to a certain extent. But if I'm a soldier for God, when I was bold in the world, I'm going to be just as bold for God.
Right.
And my thing of it was, baby, as I was walking up to them young men, I had already started praying and asking God to just,
right.
To work this situation, because if we don't start speaking up to our children, then we're setting them up just like the people who, you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's not really what you say, it's how, like you said earlier, it's not really what you say, it's how you approach them and what you say.
Right.
Because I laughed with them and I let them know that y'all can be somebody other than this.
Right.
It don't matter what people done told you, or they might have told you ain't gonna be no more than this. But I'm telling you that you can be more than this. Yeah. You just gotta put your mind into wanting better than what you're doing and shooting dice inside of Sam's. Don't you know they watching you on the camera?
Right. And
Don't you know they probably
Florence.
already done called Florence? And so when you do get ready to walk out that door, they gonna be walking out. They're gonna be waiting right there for you. But I thank God, because guess what? Them young men gathered that money up and they walked right in front of me and they walked out the store. And I didn't even see them out on the parking lot. Now, where they went, I don't know.
Right.
But my point of it is that, you know, we as Christians, we can't be scared to talk to people.
You can't.
Because if you say you got God in you, that means God is fighting that battle. That means that you're supposed to know how to approach a person that's doing wrong.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a Christian and sit here and have my mouth closed and I see you finna jump off that cliff and I just let you jump. Don't fall. Come on now. No.
Yes.
No.
I mean, you know, most definitely we do. And that's a part of our mission and our vision statement is to grab hold to these youth. Because one thing for sure is working in a criminal defense firm, you really get to know a lot of people and see how much our youth is really being impacted. Because this ain't just starting with adults. These are young people whose parents are coming to try and hire an attorney to get their babies, their kids out of jail. So, or either get them out of trouble. So we gotta be a part of the solution. And especially if it is that you are walking that walk of God, you have to be bold in what it is that you are trying to achieve. And when I say bold, I mean not afraid to speak and say who your Father is.
Now, it's a difference, see, because a lot of people put self in the way. So when we say that, you know, you got to be able to be bold in God, you got to for real have a relationship with God. You got to know that how to speak, you know, because it's like we said, it's not about what you're saying to a person. It's how you approach and say what you're saying. You know, that ties with the peace and you know, confront the person biblically. You know, hey, you always want people to see that God's light shining out of you. You know, listen, don't hold me accountable for what I used to be, because I have changed, and in my change I want you to see who I am right now as a person.
That's right.
So, you know, I'm finna give y'all some scriptures on, you know, some of the stuff that we were talking about with the gloves off. Ephesians 4:15, speak the truth in love. Proverbs 15:1, a gentle answer turns away warmth. Wrath. See, I need some glasses, but that's okay. We're going to get it together. Wrath. Sucker. No.
There she go. Remember we just spoke about just a few minutes ago.
James 1:19-20. Be quick to listen. Be quick to listen. Be quick to listen. Be quick to listen. And slow to speak. Slow to anger. Now, y'all, and I'm in confession right now. James 1:19-20, that's me all day long. I am working on me with this scripture right now, and I'm going to continue to work on me every single day. Be quick to listen, slow to speak, slow to anger.
That's right. Because, see, I'm going to start laughing before it is that I, you know, hey, just snap out. Because I've learned that, you know, laughing it off starts to, because I'm praying all alone, it brings me down. It's my peace and my tranquility. I'll even start remembering a song that I have, you know, implanted that is a peace song for me. So there are different mechanisms that you can use, especially with that option when it says be quick to listen and slow to speak and slow to anger. So when it is that you do a lot of reading of the word, listening, trying to hear what it is that God is saying to you, as well as acting according to what it is that God's word says, then that helps you. Believe me, it starts to really ground you. It really does. I'm not just speaking on, something that I've heard. This is literally something that I live and I've tried and I know for a fact that it works. I get real excited when it comes to speaking about, what God can do. And, when, hey, our arms is too short to box with God. But however, we know that his arms can stretch over many mountains, down in many valleys, all across the whole world to fight our battles for us. So his gloves is always on, but we need to take ours off and let them fight our battles.
Somebody said on my live, 2 ears and 1 mouth.
That's right. That's the reason why we got them.
Yeah,
that was a good one. Yes.
Thank you. Right. I definitely appreciate that.
That
2 ears and 1 mouth.
Yes, that's
so
really
when
good.
God takes his gloves off, how conviction can feel uncomfortable but leads to growth. All right, now we got a caller.
Call from. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello, caller. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you guys. Hello, my lady.
Hello, caller.
Long time no hear.
Long time no hear.
We definitely glad to hear from you.
Yes, we are. So what do you have?
Of course.
What do you have to share on this topic on tonight about gloves off? The gloves come off.
The gloves come off when you sit and be still. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth. It's okay to listen twice and speak once.
All right now.
So can you elaborate?
Because a lot of times we speak.
Can you elaborate?
I'm finna elaborate.
Okay, elaborate.
I'm finna elaborate. What I mean by that is a lot of people listen just to respond. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times we don't listen to what God tells you to hold your tongue. So we respond just to respond and not listen to what we're responding to. Mm-hmm. We have to listen and respond accordingly to what we're understanding. So that's what I believe.
And hey, that's true though. Because how can you honestly respond when it is that you haven't honestly heard? Mm-hmm. What can you honestly say when you have not honestly heard what is being said to you?
Because you're listening just to say something, that's what's being said.
And it's not meaningful that way neither. Mm-mm.
And I'm gonna be
Some
honest
people
with
think
you.
like that.
A lot of people that, when they're sharing something that's going on in their life, a lot of people is just really trying to vent. So that means they want somebody to just listen. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times we be so quick to want to give somebody advice or, want to just say something. And we don't, 9 times out of 10.
And not listening to what they're asking you to advise.
Exactly. And you're not even following what the advice you finna give your own self. So, that's why.
Because you're just listening to respond.
Exactly. So that's why a lot of times we just have to stop always wanting to be quick to respond and just listen.
I got a question for you, caller. Why do you think people are bolder behind the scenes?
Because they don't have to be, I want to say that. Because they don't want to be held accountable.
Okay.
Because a lot of discussions, if you have it in front of a crowd, and you don't have the yay man that's within yourself to always think that you're right, because every comment and every advice that you give don't be right.
That's right. That's right. What'd he say? I didn't hear him.
So let me ask you this. Have you ever had to take your gloves off with someone?
Yes.
Okay. And how did that turn out, or what did that look like?
Sometimes I had to bag my gloves up to understand what I was even pulling them out for.
All right. Okay.
All right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Because a lot of people is on the fence, and that's how come the responses be sometimes. It be like a guard or a territory, so they won't think slow, ignorant to the subject at hand.
So can someone...
So they think that makes them weak.
Okay. So let me ask you this. I'm going to ask both of you, Miss Mink and the caller. So can someone love you and still confront you? Like, can somebody love you and confront you?
A lot of times when it is that
if you can't take constructive criticism and love, then what's love? Because the love is unconditional.
That's correct. And then, as I was getting ready to say, is that I would want somebody that loves me to be upfront with me and not hide behind the truth, for the simple fact and reason being, that means that we both walking around it's a lie. It's a lie. It's not real love. So no, I feel that someone that truly loves you still should be able to confront you, because if they love you, they're confronting you out of love. Exactly. Because they don't want you to feel.
And it really is not confront, because love is not confrontational when you trying to teach someone or to love someone. So it should never be a confrontation. So it never should be confront.
Well,
so you should be able to take constructive criticism to someone's feelings.
Well,
we're not talking about a
not confront like a confrontational.
But we're speaking of bringing something to that other person. Right. That means bringing something, you're bringing it to them. So you're confronting them about a situation, or you're confronting them about something, or, you're confronting them about how it is that you're feeling.
They've been treating you, or they making you feel.
But not being confrontational. There's a difference between confrontation and confronting. Even though confrontation stems from confronting, but because that's when it is aggression comes in and it becomes confrontational at that time. But when it is that you are just confronting someone about something, then how you confront them or how you say it, then
that's where the confrontation starts.
It can
because you're presenting the conversation with confront. Why we can't have a conversation of how you're treating me or how my feelings are, and that we can agree to disagree, or we can have a conversation so we can come to an answer.
Well,
because when you
have a conversation with somebody,
to a lot of people, they take it aggressive sometimes. Because they're not listening to nothing else. All they hear is confront. Are you going to confront me?
See, but that's where
Baby, I just want to have a conversation.
But see, my thing of it is this, people are so confrontational, period. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to allow people to change the words that I say or the words that I may choose unless I'm
but
just
even your demeanor
or I'm not
to stimulate the conversation.
That's right. So that doesn't mean
and even your demeanor can stimulate the conversation. Because if you start off with confront, and if you're already on an aggressive attitude, your point or your feelings or nothing is not going to, you're not going to accomplish anything with the conversation.
Well, I'm going to say this, caller. If somebody come to me and say, I'm finna confront you, then I'm already knowing how to take that because, yeah, you are coming confrontational. But my thing of
How
it
would you
is
take that?
I wouldn't take it the.
Now
I would
explain the
listen.
emotions that when they come to you
If you
and
listen,
say, I want to
if you
confront
listen,
you, how do that start the
if you
conversation?
listen, I'm finna tell you. If they said
There we
that to
go.
me, I'ma already know that you're coming with some type of ill feeling. Because I'ma confront you. If you coming to say something to a person, you don't even have to say that out of your mouth.
You don't.
You're just coming to them. Can we talk? I mean, I have something I want to get off my chest, or I feel like, the way you've been treating me, it hurt, whatever the case. But if you come to me telling me something, I'm finna confront you. Yeah, I feel you coming at me. You already coming off the wrong way.
So
That's what I just said.
Okay, so this is what
so the word
this is what I'm
confront
getting ready to say.
throws off the conversation.
But who's gonna say that? Though?
But okay, so this is what I'm getting ready to say, because it's being taken out of content.
Yeah.
Because for the simple fact and reason being, no one said that that's the word you're going to use. We were saying that if someone was confronting you, meaning they were coming to have a conversation or to bring something to you to talk about. Confront just means to bring something to the attention of someone else.
And
So
I'm saying within their mentality.
You can't speak for
If
everybody.
they're
Just speak
thinking
for
in
you.
their own head before the conversation is presented, that they're going to confront you.
First off, we got to stop always talking about them and what they said. We talking about what would you say, what would I say, what would Miss Mink say.
Okay,
because
so
we got to stop always saying what somebody else going to say. We don't know what they would say, actually.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you an
so
example.
as me,
Right now,
as
Miss
me,
Kiwi's voice is high pitched, so that could be taken as being confrontational. Whereas it's like we were saying before, it's how it is that you say things. You don't have to, raise your voice a lot of times to say a lot of things. You don't have to, use certain words to say a lot of things. But what I was saying is, and that's where our people mindsets can really mess up a lot of things as well.
But let me correct you real quick. My voice wasn't high pitched because I was confrontational or mad. No, my voice was high pitched because what our callers have to understand is we can't all talk over each other because we won't understand each other. No. And I was talking and she was talking over me. So my voice did become high pitched. But the point that I was just making was everything is just not confrontational.
I was making that point for the caller because, say for instance, she could have took it as that's what it was that was coming towards her.
We can sing together,
when
but
it
we can't
was
talk
that
together.
you were, your voice started becoming high pitched. So, caller, to allude to what it is that you're saying, it is all about how it is that you say it, what words it is that you use, and when it was that she was saying about the confronting part, it wasn't that somebody is going to come to you and use that word confronting, because yes, if somebody said something about, I want to confront you about something, then a lot of people, the first thing they're going to say, or going to go towards or lean towards, is that this is getting ready to become aggressive and confrontational. So it was just to, kind of put the word in front of talking about, communicating, and all of that. So not actually being confrontational.
Actually, the question I asked was, can someone love you and still confront you? Mm-hmm. Meaning that, yeah, they can love you. Because if they didn't love you, then they wouldn't tell you nothing about yourself. Because we, a lot of times, don't see a lot of things that we may do or say or even portray to someone else, and you coming off a certain kind of way, but you so used to being you. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it goes back to, you have to watch how you're saying it, and how you're coming at a person.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yes.
Okay, because I don't want to interrupt you no more.
Go ahead.
So can I come in?
Yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
Okay. So that's how come I was saying the confrontation part, if that's already in their head, you can't have a conversation on where you feel disrespected at or where your emotions at or how a person, because if that's already in their head, that you're confronting,
Yeah.
then that throws the whole conversation off.
That's true.
That's true.
And I took it from you because you asked me how did I feel about that situation.
Right.
And yes, and that's what threw me to another loop because if you love someone, you should be able to have that conversation without being confrontational. Because that's where unconditional love comes in.
That's right.
That's correct.
You can't love no one unconditionally if you don't understand their feelings.
That's right.
Well, what's the
And you can't communicate with each other.
What's the difference between being real and rude? What's the difference between being
real and rude? That's, come on now. You know what real and rude is. I don't have to answer that. You know what real and rude is.
But do you have to be rude in order to be real? That's what I'm asking. Do you have to be rude in order to be real? Because so it alludes back to what it is that we were saying in reference to the words that you use. Because you can be real with what it is that you're saying to that person.
And that come off rude.
It can come off rude to a person. So how can you say something and be real with it without being rude?
So I'm just going to say this, and this is just my opinion, and this is also about something we touched on earlier. That's one of those things where real is rude. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Real is rude.
Yep.
And you know,
and the truth hurts.
And my thing of it is when are we gonna stop always being so in our feelings? When are we gonna stop feeling like we have to be on the defense of every time somebody say that? Real is rude.
Yes.
Because if you are not being real, then you know you being fake.
You being fake.
So of course, being fake, you gonna be rude all day long.
Yes.
But when you're being real, it's gonna be rude.
Right. It is.
And it's like we keep saying, it's not really what you say to a person; it's how you say it.
And then you know what though? But like you alluded to just a few moments ago, people's mindsets are so messed up until you can't, because just like we just said, real is rude.
Real is rude.
Real is rude. But if you in that mindset,
can I say this?
Yeah, go ahead. Because that was being rude.
Real is not rude, really.
Right. That's what I was getting ready to say.
Realness is not rude, really. The only rudeness that fakeness come into, if that's what you want to say to a person all the time and you use the opportunity to be ugly to say it. If you really trying to talk to an individual and let them know some realness, understanding will come through.
Hopefully.
Well.
And won't no rudeness be attached to that.
Hopefully.
Well, I'm going to say this, because
it depends on the individual that you're saying it to, who's going to receive it.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So I was just sharing some encouraging words to a person.
Uh-huh.
And, you know, I was using myself, you know, with a situation that I had went through, and I came through it, you know, and I was just like, I thank God because I came through it, you know, and I was just letting them know, you know, if he did it for me, he could do it for you. And they said, that's rude. So, I mean, at what point is real being real not rude? Like, I'm saying, like, because, but I know, I'm just saying.
Because it only becomes rude when the person don't want it.
That part.
Right. So that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Mm-hmm. I was just being real, and I used myself as an example, and I thought I was just being an encouragement, letting them know that if God did it for me, he could do it for you.
And some people
can't. That's rude.
But it's the mindset.
That's the mindset of people. Mindset. So that's why I'm not saying that rude don't carry its own weight.
Right.
I'm just saying, like, my opinion, real is rude, because really, no matter how real you are,
it can come off rude.
People gonna feel like some things that you're saying to them is just flat out rude,
and it shouldn't be.
But that's because.
But if they ain't used to getting that, they gonna always think it's rude.
Well, no, they probably used to getting it. It's just
ain't nobody ran across your kind of your breed, baby.
Well, I mean, you know what?
When you speaking what you speaking, it's rude to others because they can't accept that.
Absolutely.
And I'm being real. So that's all I'm saying. And that's why I started off.
So that's not on you. That's on the individual that you're giving the truth to.
It is. And that's just why that's why I started off just saying, like, my opinion, real is rude. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter how real a person is to anybody, it depends on that person. I'm being real. I'm not being rude. I'm just being real. Mm-hmm. But it still can come off being rude.
It can be. Yeah, the mindset of other people can really, really cause you to be looked at that you're being rude when it is that you are being real. So, okay, so that leads to this. Is brutal honesty better than comforting lies? Is brutal honesity better than comforting lies?
Don't lie to me.
I'm gonna give you a.
Right.
And listen, I'm just gonna say this: we don't have much more time left, so make your comments fast on this last part, and then we'll be getting off the air in a minute. But go ahead and
so what I was getting ready to say was in reference to brutal honesty. See, brutal. When you hear that word brutal. The first thing that your mind gonna go to is, oh, here we go. Mm-hmm. Your gloves gonna be on. Mm-hmm. You ain't getting ready to take your gloves off when you hear that word brutal. Mm-hmm. Them gloves, you ready to box, fight, do whatever it is that you need to do because of that particular word. That's the main thing that we've been talking about. It's not what you say.
Yes, it is.
It is how you say it and the words that you use that can cause a lot of this. But my plea for people on today is, let's take these gloves off and start being able to accept the real truth, because the truth will set you free, and being real with somebody can help motivate you to change. So that's the big thing that I would say. Take them gloves off and stop wanting to fight all the time, because first and foremost, the battle ain't yours to fight, and you cannot win when it is that you are always fighting. I don't care what anybody says, you never win when it is that you are always fighting, because nothing gets accomplished from a fight but hurt, pain, suffering, everything.
So let me ask y'all this real quick. Is there a difference between emotions and feelings?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
There is.
So that's what I meant earlier when I was just saying there's a lot of people so in their feelings to the point where they don't even try to listen or even try to understand. They feelings
or connect with their emotions.
Yes. Like, we gotta stop being so emotional.
So one person on my live said, my gloves are always on. And that's what it is that I'm talking about. But with your gloves always on, how much are you getting accomplished? Because honestly, gloves can hinder a lot of things.
I must say, we have some lovely cowards. Because the reason why I say that is because some of the cowards like to put their angriness and meanness forward.
Everybody else,
But in the back of their mind, they're listening to what you're saying.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But
at the end of the day, they'll come to you.
Sometimes some will, not everybody.
Some will. But that's where it counted.
Yeah. It does.
Because, you reach someone to teach someone.
That's right. So, caller, what's your final thoughts on this topic tonight? And we definitely always appreciate you calling in because we love the conversations that you give us. Because you be dropping, you be dropping jewels. So, hey, always call in on Why Not Say It. We definitely appreciate you. So, give us your last thoughts on this.
And definitely will.
I know
and
you will.
definitely will. I love it. And have a good night, everyone.
Okay,
yeah,
love you too. Have a
and
good
thank
night.
you for calling in again. We thank all of our callers that call in.
And love y'all.
We love you too. And you know, the ones that support us and the ones that subscribe, like, and share, the ones that be on our live, we thank you. Miss Mink, you know, what's your last and final thought? I would like to just read this. It says,
go ahead.
It says, this week, have one honest conversation you've been avoiding.
This is a challenge for everybody.
Yes, this is a challenge for everybody. This week, have one honest conversation you've been avoiding. Don't attack, communicate. Don't tear down, build up. Let the gloves come off, but let love stay on.
Yes. So in closing, take those gloves off, people. It's not about fighting harder. It's about being courageous enough to face the truth with wisdom, grace and love. Come on, let's do this. Let's get these gloves off, because the only way to communicate is to be able to listen. And then when it is that you need to speak, speak the truth, because the truth will set you free.
And that's everybody saying the truth don't need no support.
It don't.
So in that closing, we thank you all for this conversation.
Yes.
We appreciate our caller all the time. And hey, if you have a topic, reach out to Miss Mink. Fast Lane, he still, shout out to Fast Lane. He doing his thing right now. He's still a co-host on Why Not Say It. You might have not seen him for a while, but just know he is still here. Yes. And if you want to talk to us, hey, get at us. We love to hear your opinion. We love to know what's going on in your life. We thank you all for always being there for us.
Yes.
I thank God most of all because we have over 100 episodes, and that means that we are steady building and steady growing, and we are steady.
And go to our website. If you missed the show, go to our website at whynotsaid.com. And you
Why
are
Not
able
Say
to
It
listen
2022 at Gmail.
That's the email address. I said the website.
Oh, you want the website. I'm sorry. I apologize. But yes, you can go to our website. Why Not Say It? It's nice. It's nice.
Y'all see how she's
listen,
doing
listen, I be ready to give it all to y'all because, hey, we want you all support. You know, we don't sit here thinking we know everything.
No,
you know,
it's
we love to hear from other people because, you know, they have knowledge as well. That's what our platform is here for. You know, talk to us, and we definitely going to talk back. Yeah. We love you guys. We won't be here next Friday, but we will be here the following Friday. We got some things lined up for y'all. We got some treats for y'all.
That's
so
right.
Check Why Not Say It out.
And I want to shout out to the Browns.
Yes.
In memories of
Michael Brown, yes.
We're going to have them on our show and talk to them. However, they have a few events this weekend. So let's make sure that we are out there supporting as a community, because we want to be a part of the solution and not continue to be a part of the problem.
Yes, until the next time, we thank you all. We love you all. Play that song, yes. We love you all. Until next time, you all be safe. Stay prayed up. If you don't have a relationship with him, get one. He ain't say you got to dress up in a 5-piece suit. He ain't say you had to come in a mink coat. He said come as you are, because he'll deliver you from all those things. We love you guys. Not next Friday, but the following Friday, we'll be back on the air. Till next time, Why Not Say It? We love you all. Peace, love, and happiness. Hey, teach one, reach one. Reach one, teach one. Until the next time, we love you guys. That's okay. We're going to get it together. We're going to play this song. We don't own the rights to it, but we're going to play the song. And it's going to take us on up out of here.
Pain made me stronger. I don't break the same. I don't love like I used to. I don't trust the same. I thank God that I made it, but I ain't the same. What it did to me, I ain't the same. It changed how I move. Now I beat the game. I don't beg, I don't chase, I don't force no lane. Still got love in my heart, but it ain't the same. What it did to me, I ain't the same. I had to sit with my reflection, face every hurt, every rejection. I learned my worth in the silence.